Once Cavaliere has written your name in her notebook, you are as good as gone, almost like it's some kind of death pad. In this video, we're going to be looking at Cav's strengths and weaknesses, go over her kit, and showcase two different Cav builds. Their initial build that everyone must use and my personal preferred build. While I may not be the world's #1 Cav, this guide should be more than enough for you to hit the ground running. Alright, let's start it up. While classes aren't really a thing in Deceive, Cavaliere is identified as a tracker, a class that focuses on finding and hunting down targets. And Cavaliere is basically the best tracker in the game with her expertise. If you really want an agent that is going to hunt down other players, Cavaliere might just be the one for you. All unlocks in Deceive are locked behind the character mastery system. As you play more games with Cavaliere, you'll gain mastery points and gain mastery levels. For each mastery level, you get an unlock. At levels 2, 6, and 10, you'll gain cosmetics. At level 3, a new passive, 4, a new expertise, 5, a new weapon, 7, the final passive, 8, the final expertise, and at level 9, the final weapon. Once you've completed all 10 mastery levels, you start to gain echelon levels. So this is a long-term progression system. There's 100 echelon levels, and it's estimated to take between 400 and 600 gameplay hours to complete. You do gain stuff along the way, most notably at levels 10, 50, and 100, there's a unique agent cosmetic, and at level 30, there is a unique ink. There's other small unlocks along the way, including titles and the premium currency bonds. Now let's talk about Cavaliere's weapons. These dual pistols, so all of the mag sizes you see are sort of halved because she has 2 guns, but we'll talk about that as we get there. So we have alternating shots on the first one, so you do have 12 shots, 12 clicks of the mouse before you have to reload. You have a fairly quick reload at 1.8, kind of a mid one actually, and a fire rate of 4.5, which is pretty quick, and then low-ish damage at 14 and 19 to the head. These, I think, are Cav's best. My personal preference is for these. They do have a damage falloff of 15 meters, which is fairly normal. I think most fights in the game are going to be within 15 meters, and then over the next 10 meters up to 25 meters away, you're going to be doing half damage for an approximate damage falloff there. So these are my favorite, and I think widely considered to be the best currently. The quick fire rate, even with the lower damage, does kind of make up for it. And you have 12 shots before you need to reload, which hopefully you won't have to do. Moving on to the Hydras, these are her high power precision option. These ones are synchronized shots, as you can see. So the 14 shots in the mag are only really 7 clicks of the mouse. And then the damage number's a bit odd here because each shot is not dealing 20, but both shots together are dealing 20. So the mag size is kind of halved, but the damage isn't. So it's a little odd, but you get 7 clicks of the mouse to do 20 damage body shot per click. Longer reload on these, much lower rate of fire. You have to land 5 shots to kill someone with no HP chip, but you have a 40 damage headshot, so if you're being precise, these will do work. Damage fall off a little bit further, 20 meters before you start losing damage. At 30 meters, you still have 60% of your damage, your maximum fall off there. These ones, I'm not a huge fan of personally. I find if you miss 1 or maybe 2 shots, you just don't have enough shots to get the kill anymore, since you need 5 of your functionally 7 shots to hit to get a kill on someone with no chip. And then if you have to reload, that 2.3 seconds is just really long, and you've probably died before you get it off. So these ones are not my favorite, but if you're really landing shots, you can 3-tap someone to the head with these and just keep on going. They can be really good in the right hands, but for me, I don't think they're the ones, and I kind of consider them to be the worst. Moving on to the Wyverns now, these are synchronized again, so once again, 32 shots, but really only 16. 10 to the body, 12 to the head. Really low numbers, but you're shooting 6 per second, so you're doing a lot of damage. These are definitely up there, and I think are kind of competing for that best in slot. Same reload speed as the Dragoons we saw, along with the same fall off. 15 meters, you're going to start losing damage. 25 meters, you're going to drop to half damage. I think these are really good. And I think these were previously best. They recently, semi-recently, historical moment, added a function where you no longer have to click every shot, so you can hold down or hold fire any weapon, and that somewhat pushed these just below the Dragoons in my opinion. Now let's move on to Cav's expertise. Investigation is somewhat complex, but I'll try to simplify it. Pretty much, once you pull out that notepad, pretty much anything that a rival has touched in the last 2.5-ish minutes they've touched will glow a bright, obvious gold color. And if you hold down your button, for me it's mouse 1 on it, you can investigate up to 3 things, and you trace whoever interacted with those objects. You get more trace time for more investigates, so you can cancel this early after investigating only 1 object to get a shorter trace, or getting the full 3 for the longest trace. This one's really good to know if someone has been around where you are. You can cancel the stance early by re-clicking the button. So one thing you can definitely do is enter, say, a new blue room. You pull out your notepad, look around, nothing's glowing, you turn it back off, and you get a lot of that cooldown back, allowing you to do this in pretty much every other room you're gonna enter, and just continue to see if someone was nearby recently. Also, if you see obvious things like ammo missing or a safe opened, you can just investigate those, and if you're there quickly enough, you might just get a free trace on someone, potentially leading to a kill. This is, I think, her strongest one, just because you can trace someone, and if they're across the map, you're welcome to run across the map, and they've probably touched something over where they were, so even if they've moved again, they've probably touched something, you get a second trace on them, and you can just keep tracing them, and it forces whoever you're tracing to just sort of stop, almost stop playing the game. They can't hack anything, they can't open doors, or you're going to find them again, and you can just continually hound them down. I think this one's her best by far, I'll even gonna say, and I think it's definitely pushed the other 2 out just with its flexibility and ease of use. But let's talk about the other ones. Its setup is really cool. They recently buffed the size of the circle you see, so in this small video here, the size of the circle is now significantly larger. But pretty much you put down this circle, and any, they say electronic devices, but it's really anything you can hack, but also includes like safes. I guess those are basically anything you can hack. Safes are hackable, med stations are hackable, all of those things where you're hacking, not just like picking up a key card or eating some food, become trapped, and very similar to the hack trap gadget. But instead of that brief little blink you get if you're used to the hack trap, they do get traced. So one thing you kind of see with this is you'll put it down kind of to cover most of the room you're in. If someone comes into the room, you'll trace them, and then you're aware they're there. You can either get a fight, or you might just scare them off and you might not have to do anything at all. You can also just leave it somewhere to scare someone. It also has basically no cooldown. I think it's like 5 seconds. So you can put it down and then move it later and move it later and just move it around as you move. So it's really powerful that way. There's some cheeky spots where I know the circle will clip through the wall. Intentionally, it's supposed to go through walls. But you can get some info on things like if that purple room has a terminal or 2 purple safes in it with this, as you do get this little red outline on things you have marked with you. It's a setup, so you can get some info with it that way. But all in all, I think investigation has just kind of pushed this one out. But the increased size of this is something like that's new, so it may have gained more popularity based on that. So it's kind of a wait and see, but this is definitely number 2, and it's kind of close now. Finally, Redemption. Redemption is just kind of bad, and we'll try to talk about why. It's the same investigate stance as her expertise 1, except the things you investigate in are different. So in investigation, it's pretty much things people touch, any hackables, pretty much anything people touch. But Redemption is specifically 3 things. Any bodies, and this includes NPC and player bodies. So any bodies, along with the holocrumbs, those are those little red dots that people leave behind when they change disguise. And then finally, even though it's not listed in this tooltip, as I just learned, the package ping is the third thing. So that ping that the package carrier leaves behind so you can follow the packages they try to escape with it. You can actually use redemption on that and get trace for all of these things. It's basically the same length as an investigation. 3 investigate. It's the maximum length. So this one's not very good just because of the situations. If you find a body, it can be good, but there's entire games you can play of Deceive where you just never find a player body. Obviously it works on NPC bodies, but NPCs revive each other, and also players can revive NPC bodies that they've downed. So that you just don't find that many NPC bodies anymore. Holocrumbs, although that should be useful, don't last for very long. It's timed in like seconds of how long a holocrumb lasts. So if you've seen one, someone's probably close enough to you that you maybe didn't you need this ability anyway. And even if you did, then you have to like run up to their holocrumb before it disappears and investigate it, which can make you look obvious. And then finally, the package ping is actually a really useful thing to trace because the package carrier gets that package vision wall hacks on you. This basically turns the tables and allows you to get that wall hacks, that traceability on them. So it can be really useful in that. But then you're investing in an ability that only works really well in the last phase of the game if you don't get the package. And I would rather just have an ability that was more useful in more stages of the game and didn't rely on me not doing the best I could to get the package. If you have the package with redemption, it just doesn't do much. That may also be true of Investigate, though. And finally, Cavaliere's passives. Cavaliere's passives are all modifiers to her charged melee attack. Notably, it does say Cavaliere can further charge her melee attack, but the window between a charged melee and a further charged melee for Cavaliere is so small that it's widely considered to be a bug that it's even possible to get somewhere that's a charged melee that's not a further charged melee. So we're kind of not sure if it is or not, but it does say further charge. So I'm going to go ahead and say that there's the base melee for 15 damage. There's a very tiny window where you can do a charged melee for 30 damage. And then there's the final window, which is what usually you want on Cavaliere, to do that 30 damage plus one of these passives. Now let's talk about the passives themselves. This is Tiger's Leaps, the first one. It's just a big lunge forward. This is one of the fastest ways to move in the entire game. If you just spam charge your melee and do jumping Tiger's Leaps, you're gonna travel pretty much faster than anyone else, with the problem being that you're out of cover. If you combo this with a high cover chip, you can get around the map fairly quickly, and if someone tries to shoot at you, you can just be out of their line of sight or out of their range of fire very fast. So even though this seems really sus to do, just like leap around the map, it is one of the best uses of this ability. It's just the travel speed on it. Other than that, that doesn't see a ton of use. You can obviously hit people with it, and that's gonna be a big 30 damage burst off the bat. But it doesn't really see a lot of use out of those two things, but it's a melee, so that's kind of what it is. There is one thing to note. If I did say jumping Tiger's Leaps, because when you jump, you do gain just a little bit of extra distance on the Tiger's Leap, for whatever reason. So that's just a little tips and tricks that you know now. Let's move on to maximum velocity. Maximum velocity, again, a charged melee modifier. If you land your charged kick, you gain amped up, which is just move speed, and you get a free reload. This should be really powerful, and I'm gonna say it kind of is if you have like the Hydras, which are the longest reload, but this usually is something you want to do near the end of fights. Hopefully you're not reloading it in fights to begin with, especially in solos. Duos and trios maybe, but at that point you have to get in melee range to land this. And I'm not a huge fan of this, somewhat because melee doesn't always land when it should. That's just a thing that happens in Deceive, for better or worse. I hate to call it out like that, but it's true. So if you're in the middle of a fight and your opponent's trying to dodge shots and you come in with the kind of obvious charged melee, they can see you're charging it. and they start moving somewhat erratically, you could just miss, and then you have to decide whether you're gonna continue to try to do a manual reload or use this ability again, and you may run into that same problem again. So it's kind of a funny decision, and most of my experience says just don't take this, because either the melee is gonna miss more often than I'd like, or I just don't want to be reloading in fights. Hopefully I'm getting kills within one full mag, 2 full mags. She has dual pistols, I guess, technically. Or I can get behind some cover to reload, or use, say, a shield gadget or a bounce pad to, like, you know, move the fight or move myself in a way that allows me to reload. So I'm not a big fan of this one. I know some people are. The amped up speed is okay for dodging shots after, but I'm never sure if I want to initiate with this to get amped up off the bat, or I want to wait and use it later. Not that it has a cooldown, you could use it twice. So yeah, it's kind of a weird one to me, and I really never take it. Baleful Blow is my preferred one. This one's really easy. You land the charge kick and it slows them by like 40%. The idea here is that slowed targets are really easy to shoot, especially headshot. Once you've like investigated them or just decided that's a player, if you can get close enough to land a charge kick on them out of cover, this is the best opener potentially in the game. Maybe someone's gonna call me out on that, but it's one of the best openers to just land 30 damage in a slow on someone, and then you have your guns out. You can just land back-to-back headshots on a slowed target, or even just unload on some body shots. This one's my favorite. It does have the requirement of you do have to get in melee range of your target, but they all do except Tiger's Leap, which goes a little further. So yeah, this one we'll see in the preferred build, but I'm also excited to show off the Tiger's Leap in the initial build as well. While there's no real gadget specific to agents combos, I will try to highlight a couple things here. Specifically for Cavaliere, I'm going to call it the Hack Trap, which we did call out her her expertise 2 being very like the Hack Trap, and it's definitely okay just to run both. Even without the expertise 2, which is a very similar thing, the expertise 1, the Hack Trap is going to tell you if someone touched something you have the Hack Trap on, which is going to allow you to know that you can use your expertise on that and then get a trace. So the Hack Trap is only leaving a brief snapshot, but since it's told you that someone has touched that thing that you Hack Trap, you can then use your expertise on it and gain a trace out of that Hack Trap. So that's really good. You can put Hack Trap on doors, any electronic device really, which is exactly what her expertise 1 is going to be covering as well. So it's really good that way. I'll call out Tripwire here. Breaking someone's cover as like they go into a guard room or something could get them guard aggro. They might have to shoot and down guards. That's maybe something for her expertise 3 if you're trying to do that. Getting them to shoot at some NPCs could get downed NPCs that you could then investigate. That's really it. I don't think your expertise 2 needs a whole lot. Obviously these recon ones down here, well, not specifically better on Cavaliere than anyone else, not so much the spyglass, but the drone and the DI allowing you to just find players. If you see someone touching something via the drone or the DI, you can then use your investigate to investigate that. Your drone might force someone to change cover, which then you can investigate that holocron. There's some little combos in there, and I don't really see a ton of specific combos with any of Cavaliere's kit with any of these, but that does not mean they're not good on Cavaliere for other reasons. For example, I always take the bounce pad because just the movement is very good. Actually, the bounce pad with Cavaliere passive 1 specifically, you can bounce pad up and then dash out. You can get out of some serious situations just with that. We talked about the passive 1 spam already. And of course, there's things like shield to protect you, but this isn't a gadget guide. These are just some little combos that I've picked out here. Let's talk field upgrades. We're going to be using the base field upgrade. This is the one that you start the game with. I do think for Cavaliere, we often mention this field agent kit based on the agent. As long as you're not running her E2, it's a setup. If you're running your E1 or E3 for some reason, you're going to want some level of expertise cooldown, so I think it's okay to be here. I'm going to be showing off in solos, which I don't like to take extended ammo pouch for, but in duos and trios where there's more teammates and the same amount of ammo, you might want this to just have more ammo for fights. We talked about cover accelerator. If you're doing the passive one, moving around the map with that, you're going to want some high cover accelerator to get your cover back once you've decided to stay put somewhere. External hard drive is always just really nice to have a little more intel to go a little bit further. And I think that's the only one to really call out, other than if you've watched any of these guides so far, the exfiltration scanner is just bad and you shouldn't be taking it. Alright, we're going to quickly overview our builds. Initial build is, of course, 1, 1, and 1. And for preferred build, my preferred build is actually just this is the only change. But in order to show off some different abilities, we will run the Wyvern and the It's a Setup. So we'll see some variety there in our preferred build. And I will see you guys right there. Okay, the new hard cell in the morning for our initial build showcase. Let's get right to it. I do want to reiterate here we were just saying, but this basically is my preferred build. We obviously are going to see something different in the preferred build because I do like to show off different stuff. It'd be kind of boring if I only changed the passive to the slowing kick. It would look pretty similar, but yeah, this weapon's great. The expertise is great. I would probably change the kick to the slowing kick, but that's, I think, just a preference thing. You can definitely use the fast kick here, but I will throw out, we're obviously using the base loadout, the one you start the game with for field upgrades. So I would put on a pretty high cover chip if you were going to try and be using the passive one the way that we're going to be showing, which I think is the best way to use it. You just have to actually put on a high cover chip. So it's going to be a little more difficult to use. Doug, are you heading in? You are. Perfect. We walked a long way, but we did get there in the end. So normally I'd hit the button and I hit my investigate button and make sure that we were the only people like in here. No one else had touched anything. But I'm pretty sure we were the first one in there because we were by that door for like the entire first part of the game. So really not a big deal to just, you know, I didn't see that door open except for once when the VIP came out. So it's probably fine. Grab us one of these and we'll grab our blue because that's our 10 HP. It's pretty valuable to have. And then we'll probably head down towards A and some other places. I think that keycard's outside that we're hearing. I can't see it. Yeah, it is. So it's a green. We're going to head down towards A. I will grab the green keycard because we are going to head into a green room, aka over here. Because I think if we're going to find... No. So that's what you do. You just like do a quick run through this. The ability has a decently long range, but like not the length of this entire room. I think we're gonna gamble because on the off chance we get a key card, that'll be really good. Hey, there we go. So that's actually a great pickup. And before we even leave the room, our expertise is pretty much back up. And we don't even have the purple expertise chip yet. Oh, there goes another thing. So we can get to A. I like to hack it from pretty far away here just to make sure that it's open for me. Now this does... Oop. Is that on this floor? No, it's above. Okay, that's a floor up. Okay, so I don't really need this, but... They also had a ton of heat, which is just unfortunate. Not sure where they got all that heat from, but they did get that ton of heat. So obviously we didn't really need the ability to tell us that was a vigil. It was a guard opening drawer. Well, we need to know it was a vigil, but it was a guard opening drawers. There's not a lot of it's always going to be a player for that. So that covers A and B. C is way up, so I think we're going to head over to D because it's the only one you can access from this floor. That Doug looked a little weird. We can also just like hit our button in here. It's a pretty popular area, but I'm not seeing anything. I should have left it on when we went in here as well, but the ammo's still there. So that's ammo being here is a decent indicator that no one else has been here. This is a purple room then? Yeah, that's what that voice line means. Step out. Hack trap goes off.
Critical.
Okay, we got it. The bounce pad play gets it. I thought I reloaded before that bounce pad play, so that was about to go really bad, but I got a little lucky there, I'm not gonna lie. If we hadn't have landed behind her, we would have been in big trouble. Yeah, we should have waited on that side until our that looked kind of playery. Oh. Okay, we got pretty much everything we need. Okay, we're out of vials though. We are just below full HP. It's usually, yeah, health things up here. And as always, enter. Okay, so these are obviously gone, but it does have a timer, so it has timed out by now. So this is probably gone then. Yeah. And that tells us for sure that the last one's E, which is this way. I don't know why I'm running that way. You can go out that window, but it does not lead to E. But yeah, that's the strength of Cav is a lot of you. I think you have the highest DPS in the game. If you just pump out damage, especially if you're landing those headshots. So we're gonna hold our ability here. Even though this is a somewhat popular area, we are heading into E, and we're really gonna want to know if someone's in front of us. There's obviously a gray safe taken here and a health vial, but that was probably a while ago. There's tripwires here, so can't investigate those, and apparently they haven't touched this door in a while. I'm gonna have to jump. They tripwired it? I guess. Nope, they did tripwire the inside. Okay, so they definitely know. The alarm didn't go off, so they're not in here with me.
This vault terminal has been expertly
I would like some heals, but I don't think we're gonna have time to get them. There we go. That vial's gone as well, but again, it's probably a while ago, and we do want to just be heading to the vault. We did just hear a Yumi shoot like in there, which really makes me want to go back, but I want to show off the kicks. So this is going to open any second, and we're just going to use our kicks to get there ASAP. You know, obviously this has two downsides. If anyone behind us is aware, we're actually just gonna get this printer. We're kind of racing to a printer, but this one's right here. So normally I'd look for a deeper printer if possible, but this is a pretty good one to have. So we can just do this. So it sucks a little bit I didn't get to show this off going further, because that's really where the value comes. If you want to get that deep printer, you have great key cards like we do, you can just like hop along all the way to the purple rooms. Unfortunately for us, we found a good printer. We're suffering from success on this one. This hallway is really good for us to look down. We do have some fall off, like that is gonna be how far? That's 68 meters, right? We're gonna be doing half damage pretty much to anyone who comes through there. But it is what it is. Oh, so that's a good tip, is if you need to check a distance, really the only way to do it is to ping, which is, for me, it's middle mouse. I'm not sure what it is on a console. We do need an outfit. Let's grab that. And it doesn't really matter which of the three purple rooms we go into, since we already have our key card. So we could even kick along here just for speed. Probably don't need to. The light is green. I don't see like anyone else nearby. That doesn't mean they won't be here. But there we go. I like to look down a bit. Okay, make sure we're checking out the doors though. We can see these two. Obviously you can't see that one, so just left and right here. Okay, so we won the race by a lot. There's no one else in the entire vault. Except for, I'm assuming that's a Yumi. I couldn't actually look too hard at what the agent was, because it wasn't that important right this second. We just need intel and stuff. And they're not even in the vault, so we're not going to interact for a little bit. Change down to a regular guard outfit. We do have to pick an exit, though, on this map. It is a Yumi. Make sure we top up on these. Beyond, is it a Yumi or a Squire?
Activating rival agent detection mode.
All right.
Feels pretty natural.
Now we're out. Being out of the vault is great. It gives us an entire playground of map. Oh boy. All right, like I said, you don't want to be reloading in combat. And we ended up reloading in combat. But we did get a victory anyway. So that's a pretty good showing. We didn't get to show off the passive one as much as I would have liked. We didn't get to kick overly far. But that's the idea, is you can get, especially for that sort of foot race to the nearest printer, you can get really far ahead on that one. If you need to like do a bamboozle and do like an A extract to C extract, you can do it with kicks as well. Again, high coverage ship is kind of needed for those sorts of things. And we saw investigate a bit, and we did get some investigates, but mostly just high DPS Cav, and that's what Cav does. All right, we're gonna go to our preferred build next, and I'll see you guys right there. All right, we got a golden outfit on for our preferred. I'm gonna maybe alternate build showcase for this one, since our initial build and my preferred build are very similar.
Where is the break room?
Let's get to it. We got some hard sell going on here.
That's it.
And we'll get a quick-ish entry into D. There you are.
Something's fishy.
Lost track of her when I was in my spyglass. Okay, we'll open this up. We'll grab that 2 intel probably, and then we'll head on in. Okay. And then we'll put down our expertise in here. Oh, well, that's just unlucky. So this should be able to cover pretty much every door in the place. Yep. It also covers that door even. So oh. Do I just take guard aggro here for days maybe? I'm just taking shots from the guard.
Critical.
Okay, we had 4 HP there. Yeah, that ability is really strong on Larson, especially. Yeah, I took more damage from than from the guard than I did from the Larson, but he just kind of sat there and there wasn't much I can do. One of the reasons I do recommend some cover accelerators. If I could have got in a little corner, that would have gone a long way. Obviously, I'm playing this super risky right now, but I'm going with 29 HP and literally 2 health vials, which is another 40, but yeah.
Keep up the good work.
So don't recommend doing this, but I really want it in here, and now we'll go and figure out healing and stuff. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think that's the closest health terminal, but we already saw the uses of It's a Setup. I will hit, do I want to hit this on the way? I think we'll just walk the whole way, and we'll just be really good about it. We could even grab this food on the side and use our health files, and we'd be fine, but I kind of want to keep the health files, so we'll just be really good. We'll just walk the line, and no one will know anything as we go heal. There was a bounce pad, probably towards B, so we might head there next. Okay, now we're back.
Fixed your face.
Yeah, that does sound like it's a B. So really, the only thing we got there was a gold chip, which like isn't nothing. It's pretty valuable actually. Oh, there's a player. This Doug opened a drawer. Oh, I'm gonna have to follow them in. This is gonna look super awkward. Alright, there we go. That's how that's supposed to look. Is you kind of just do that. You notice there was a second after the kick before I actually started unloading. That was just literally I couldn't shoot in that amount of time. Can't do anything different. Now we got a blue key card, and I can see that that is hack trapped. So what I'm gonna do is open it from way over here and then walk away. They don't know what disguise were. They get to see that pop-up we saw, which involves did they hack trap it again? I don't. Yes, they did. All right. Hang on. Be smart about it. Hit this. Go this way. They could just be waiting inside. I think I go in after this Doug. Oh, he doesn't go in. I don't want to be the very next person in. I think that's just death waiting to happen. So we can go in a back door here. Oh, we can't. They've got all the doors. That one too? No. What do they got for doors over here? Alright, reload while we have a sec. Stop missing. Did they go this way? I don't know. Dang, they get to live because I lost them. I mean, that was a good escape by them, of course, but... we could just social battery out here. It's gonna take us a second. Yeah, that was a good escape by them. They were on like 1 HP or so. I gotta decide if I'm going back to B at this point. Oh, little bug here. Sometimes your arms go missing. You just tap your nav mode from its Q and they come back. Or usually they come back. Oh, right. Alright, slightly different bug because we're Cav. We only technically... We're holding one gun, but trust me, the other one's there. Yeah. Should change this guys because they know, but I really want to know what's in this door. They probably got whatever it was. Yeah. We can do this, and we do want a blue. Good. One of the major reasons we came here, besides the fact we heard a bounce pad like 20 minutes ago now, was there was a blue. Yeah, we just don't have hands.
Time to get
So.
serious.
I apologize. Just assume I have hands for the rest of this. I can get one back by doing that. We gotta head to A. This jump looks kind of sus, but usually no one's hanging out over there after like the start of the game, so it's pretty safe actually. I guess that's another tip. If you if you do hang out over there past like the start of the game, you may find someone jumping off the balcony. Once we head into A here, we should be able to put our circle down in a good spot again. Oh, there's a hack trap. But we could also put it here and see that that's a terminal room. We don't know if the terminal's done or not, but it's a terminal room. Did the hack trap disappear now?
Think you could get away with it?
We did get him with some trace. What? There was two. Wait, was there two? What?
I'll survey the perimeter.
I'm gonna go insane.
Nothing to see.
Ah, I don't have hands. I don't know what's happening.
One of the key elements I was missing. Hey!
Now we go heal and hope that Larson's not near us. Yeah, this is gonna be a little harder than I expected without the hands. Didn't think it would throw me off as much as it did, but there we go. Here we are, handless. I also thought I had a purple keycard. You're a player, right? No NPC makes that move. There we go. One thing I do love about the wyverns is you can just spray down people's heads if you if you get that slowing kick. Oh boy, you just hold left click on them, and yeah, most people don't get back up from that.
Vault terminal deactivated. You are getting
That cap
closer.
was tough though. I do want this outfit.
Anyone see a spy pass by?
Was that the last vault terminal? I actually don't know. Yeah, it was. Okay. I wasn't like fully paying attention. A little sus of the Doug who walked in behind us, so I'll put that there since it's up. And if we hear it go off behind us, then we'll get some info. Otherwise, we're just chilling here with our
Vault open.
same face person, and we're probably dead. Yeah, that was kind of dumb by me. Normally, a guard hanging out by the vault door is a player right when the thing opens. I was kind of just hoping it wasn't, and then the cage went down, and Hans at that range, you're just not winning those. So, GG's. We don't always win them, but that was a really good showing of this alternate build. That's what I was calling it. So yeah, I think we showed off everything I wanted to show. Can't win them all. We got 4 elims though, and yeah, came face to face with the Hans at the wrong time, and I think that's it. We'll stop at the menu here. Just we kind of do some final thoughts, but
But only if I can do
we
it.
went over all of these already, so I'm not gonna like go over them again. But if you are enjoying these guides or you're finding them helpful, a subscription really helps me continue doing these. Like the video if this did help you. If there's anything we missed or anything that may be beneficial for future guides, feel free to post that in the comments, because that really does help me out and make better guides, as well as help me out for the algorithm. And usually, besides some guides we've been doing recently, we make Deceive and gameplay content here. So if that's something you're into, I will see you in the next one.